Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I don't know who's going to see this. Right now it's the 29th, I believe, and it's 8:28 p.m. Yes, I'm sorry, it's the Thursday. It's Thursday the 30th. I'm losing track of days. I'm sorry. It's August 30th, 8:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope everyone is doing well. Alright, we'll wait for a few people to jump on here. I just started, so there's no one on here at this moment. Several will be viewing this at a later time. End date. Alright, we got people jumping on now. We got Dylan and Jill watching. Alright. Alright, awesome. This is great. We got people jumping on. Hey, we got Mr. Mike Singleton. For those who don't know Mr. Mike Singleton is the host of the Blue Ridge Bigfoot. You can find him on YouTube. He's got some amazing stories on there from guests he has interviewed and stories that he has gathered. Definitely check that out. Again, that's Blue Ridge Bigfoot. And also, you can find him on Twitter. Mike is on Twitter as well. So, again, that's Mike Singleton, but you will find him as Blue Ridge Bigfoot. Alright, hey Jim, I see you made it. Jim was just messaging me, and here he is on the live feed. Alright, Zach, what's up, Zach? I am actually feeling much better. Yeah, yesterday, I know I started a short Facebook Live yesterday, and I cut it short because just for some reason, I don't know why, I get these quick, overwhelming, sick feelings sometimes. It's very rare, but I felt a little sick yesterday when I was trying to do the Facebook Live. I actually almost felt like throwing up. I don't know, they come and go. Hey, Mr. Dan Lindholm, how you doing? It's great to have you on here. Dan Lindholm of Big Truth Productions. Very awesome. Jerry Slaughter, hello. Alright. Hey guys, we got some events coming up here. There's different events that's taking place here all throughout the East Coast. West Coast got the International Bigfoot Conference coming up. Mr. Bob Gimlin, the man himself, is actually hosting that event. He's actually co-hosting that event, which is awesome. So if you guys have been following the post for the International Bigfoot Conference with Russell Accord and of course, as I just mentioned, Bob Gimlin. So they got that going on, and let's talk about. We're about to enter in September. I want to talk to you about September. We got a couple of very interesting things here happening in September. September 15th and 16th. Tracy Arnold is hosting and organizing a weekend investigation down in his territory. He is actually looking for others to join. If you're interested in joining a weekend camp out and some deep woods exploration, definitely check that out. I will be attending that. Tracy Arnold lives down in Westville, Virginia, which is south of Blacksburg. So, from here in the Shenandoah Valley, he's roughly about 3.5 hours south of here. So, I'm looking forward to joining Tracy Arnold's investigation, his camp out. We're going to do some squatching down there, camping out for the weekend. So that's happening September 15th and 16th. So I know Sam Deloach, and I know there'll be Tracy's got a few people gathered together, and we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna have a good time, and hopefully we hope to find something. And Tracy feels confident that we may have an experience. This is a very active location. There's been reported sightings and a lot of wild vocalizations and screams that were unknown. Then let's see what we got here. Oh, this weekend coming up. As of right now, I'm not sure who else will may be joining, but I know my father is going to be joining me camping this weekend. So yeah, Dad has not camped out with me since September of 2015. So here it is, 2018. So Dad's got his tent ready. He's got his camping gear ready. He's got everything that we need to get out there. So it should be interesting. I don't know. I know there's some possible chance of rain in the weekend. We had some good heavy rain here earlier. But yeah, there's a slight chance of rain this weekend. So we still plan on doing some camping this weekend. We have a 3-day weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. All right. The month of October, I want to give everybody a heads up. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, October 6th, if you guys make it here in Virginia, I am holding a local seminar. I do them at least once a year, and this is separate from the conference. It's just a couple-hour event. October 6th in Waynesboro, Virginia, at the Waynesboro Public Library, I am holding a local seminar. I will be also conducting a Q&A session. So after giving my presentation that I do every year in the conference room, I'll be allowing questions, and I'll be answering to the best of my ability. And see what we got. So yeah, come on out. It's a free event. It's not costing anything. I'll have some of my cast on display. So, and I just see here on the live chat, see, Ed, okay, Dan Lindemann and Ed will be camping next week in his research area. Awesome, and I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you guys get to experience and find some cool stuff. What else we got going on here? No, Zach, I did not attempt to even put that on yet. I still have that, but so yeah, we got that going on. There's other events taking place. I know they got the Tennessee Bigfoot Conference. I forget the dates of that, but that's coming up. That's happening very soon, from what I understand. And I believe the Micro team is putting that, organizing that. You can check with Matthew Delph or Sam Deloach for information regarding that event. If you're interested, that's happening in Tennessee. I could be wrong. I want to say in Kingsport, Tennessee. Don't quote me on that. If you want details on that, get with Sam Deloach or Matthew Delph. They will direct you in the right way how to go about doing that. Dan Lindham is asking anyone out west to contact him to get involved with this or other expeditions. That's awesome, Dan, that you're putting that out there, and I'm glad to share that with you, so others may be able to reach this later. So next week, if you guys are out west and you guys want to join Dan Lindham and Ed Brown, I mean, two amazing, incredible guys. These guys are awesome. They're real boots on the ground. These are very down-to-earth guys. I had the privilege of meeting Ed Brown a few different times, which is awesome. Of course, he was one of our speakers at our conference back in June, and I was proud to have him as one of my speakers. So if you never got to meet Ed Brown, you got to meet Ed Brown. And Dan, I look forward to meeting you one day. I'm sure you're just as great. So yeah, we got these investigations going on. We got camping trips, research investigations going on. We got the local seminars coming up. Excuse me. And we got the events for next year that we're working on, that we're planning. I don't like to jump ahead too far, but we're looking at June 29th and June 30th for the ECBR Virginia Bigfoot Con. That's taking place June 29th and June 30th. All right. There's still information I have yet to release regarding venue, and as far as vendors, we are accepting vendors at this time. So if you're interested in being a vendor, contact me, etc., etc. July 27th, 2019, Zach Sterrick, the founder of the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters, is holding his second annual Bigfoot Conference at Carnegie Library in Marion, Illinois. So he has a Facebook page set up for the event, so please find that and check that out. If you're out in the Midwest and you would like to attend that, go ahead and take care of that. And yes, that's right, I will be speaking at that event next year. I was invited to speak at that event next year. Another event I was asked to speak at for next year is taking place in New York, in out west, upstate in the western part of New York. It's part of the Paracon ParaFestCon, and it's being hosted and organized by Ted Van's son. I'm actually scheduled to be on his radio show on the 24th of this month. So the 24th, I believe it was at 8 p.m. So there's all these things going on. There's more information that'll be shared and posted out about these events. So, let's see. So yeah, I'm going on discussing on all these events and the dates that are taking place, which is great. You know, there are a lot of these events. They're very informative. The good thing about them, you get to meet people in person for the first time. You meet new people. You gain new friendship, which is awesome. Hey Bob, how you doing, Bobcat Wong? Madonna, how you doing, Madonna? Lip Trap. Yeah, one of the things I am working on trying to get more into, and it's part of the reason why I'm preparing for my presentation that's happening next month in October. October 6th here in Virginia. I am going to start getting back into sharing some information regarding research and education for awareness. For those who've been following me in the years past, anyone who's been listening, and even up till present time, you guys understand that my way about presenting my information is probably a lot different than what you're used to. I'm not one of those people that brag that I know everything. I'm not a bragger when it comes to saying I know this about Bigfoot, because those who brag about they know more about Squatching than anybody else, I mean, that's tomfoolery. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody's an expert. When you got people out there making claims that they know more about Bigfoot than anybody else in this field, they're calling themselves an expert, and there's no experts. I'm gonna warn you, and please heed to my warning. These people that brag about themselves knowing more than others, you know, these are people. They're like a wolf in sheep's clothing, where they're trying to deceive you. They're looking for attention. So please take heed when you come across these kind of people, because they are out there, and maybe some of you have experienced some of these people. They're not very humble, you know. And people like that are not humble like that, and they like to brag, they really are destroying themselves. They are destroying their own reputation. So, you know, just be careful when you come across these people. They're not hard to find. If you just be careful who you give ear to. I mean, and the way I go about presenting my information, I like to use illustrations and comparisons with wildlife, because, you know, I'm an independent wildlife researcher. I like to understand wildlife. You know, growing up as a wildlife researcher, you know, and spending time in the woods, observing what I do, you know, and then when you come into something like Bigfoot, in the world of cryptozoology, it's a totally new world. You know, it's a mystery. It's a total new world, and it's a mystery. So when you start observing and you start learning about the alleged Bigfoot, that's where, you know, you need to find a subject that closely resembles what Bigfoot might be. So, you know, that's one thing I tell people. I said, you know, if you're going to start researching Bigfoot or any cryptid, you need to try to do your research on what it closely resembles. What's it mimic? What's it appear to be? All right. What do you believe their diet is? And then you need to take from that, and then you need to look at our known species when it comes to wildlife. What other animal, what other known species does this? And there's your starting point. You have something to work with. You have something to go off of. Just to give you that little bit of information, of knowledge that might help you understand something. Yes, it's important that we keep an open mind in this field. Yeah, we all came into this with an open mind. But I believe that it's dangerous. At the same time, I believe that it's dangerous being too open when you need to take steps. I believe there are certain steps that we need to follow. And when I say steps, you got to start logically. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dan Lindum. That's a good point. That question makes a good point, and that's the point that I'm getting at. For example, for those of us that believe they are a large primate of some sort, what do other large primates do? Good, that's an example, and because that's how I look at things. I look at Sasquatch in my own point of view, based off of my own observation, as a type of primate. So what do other large primates do? That's a good point. And here's another one. Dan's coming back with another good one. What is in your woods in the first place? So you know the context. Exactly. Layout of the land, the ecology, the known species that inhabit that land. All those. These are all the little side notes, the research that you need to do. You can't have a mindset when you can't approach, just enter the woods and say, I'm going to look for Bigfoot. You don't know what you're looking for one thing. People think you're crazy. You're looking for something to most people does not exist. First of all, take a step back. Look at your other known predators that inhabit that land. Look at your bears. Look at your deer. Look at your predators that may exist or roam in that land. All right? You need to study them so you could decipher and distinguish and to separate. So, there's a lot of different factors and, thoughts that we can look at and points. There's a lot of little bullet points that we can look at, and we can make bullet point notes. It's simple. I keep a pad of paper right here, here at ACF. That's where I work. You need to keep a little notepad. I keep notes, notepads everywhere. I take notes about everything. I'm always writing things down. So it's very important that we study and know our wildlife instead of saying, well, I'm studying from our Native Americans, or whatever. Native Americans are full of folklore. They're limited on their information. Yes, they may have observed the physical creature in their time because they dwelt in the woods, more than we do, because they lived there. They lived out in the woods. They didn't have homes and shelters like we do. They lived in the wild. So yes, they had more observation experiences. Again, that's that's limited in information that we have to go by. And they take stories that happened hundreds of years ago, and we're taking them up now, and we're using this information to further our knowledge about things. When stories are like rumors, like I presented this before, when you start a rumor, just like in elementary school, for those who remember, because I've done it when I was in elementary school, like first grade, second grade, whatever, you guys get in a circle. The classroom will get in a circle. You start one person will start the rumor quietly, and it goes all the way around, and by the time it gets back around to the original person, it's not nowhere where it originated from. It's totally opposite, or something totally off the wall. So when we're taking stories, from the past, we need to be careful when we're hearing that kind of information. Because to me, it's a base to maybe consider with an open mind, but yet it could be false, misleading information at the same time. I think that it's very important that we take a lot of caution with what we read into. It's like you need to take everything with a grain of salt and just don't jump to conclusions. And because one person says something, you cannot go and take that word for it, because you need to do your own research to find your own conclusions. Don't go by what I say. If I say something, don't go by what I say. I may present a piece of information with what I believe, and I'm going to share why I believe based off of my research or something I observed or experienced over a period of time or multiple times. So, if that makes any sense. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an expert, but we could get a belief based off of experience. We could get a belief based off of something we read. We could have a belief based off of what we've heard, off of a rumor, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So, it's just, but again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt and just keep the information that we learn in the back of our mind and do your research. When I first started getting involved with Bigfoot in general, I was gathering all this information up, apart from doing what I was doing in the field. When I first learned about social media, I was sitting back. When I first learned that there was all these people involved with Bigfoot research and looking for Bigfoot, there was all these theories that were flooded in social media, and I was like, I mean, they were like flying left and right, and I was making notes of all these different beliefs, all these claims, and everything. And you know, the thing is, I didn't fall or believe for any of them. They were all fascinating. They were all mind-blowing. It was exciting to me as a newbie back then, and I wanted to do my own research. I need to start doing more to get my own understanding. So it's just, we just need to be careful. Because there's nobody that knows more than you about Bigfoot. You could have your own experience, which is all fine and dandy, and you can, depending on your experience of your observation, that's your knowledge for what you experienced, okay? But as far as coming up with stories and making up claims, you cannot attack the world with all this information, telling them that you know more than others, because no, you don't. The truth is, nobody knows more than anybody else. Others might have information that makes sense logically more than the others, but you know, again, there's no hardcore physical evidence or facts. Right now, we're trying to find answers. This is a mystery, and it's exciting to be a mystery. And no matter what, how many alleged photos or video that's out there, I'm gonna keep going forward, and I'm gonna keep my boots on the ground. You know, exploration. And I'm going to keep studying or doing my research, you know, out of the field as well. I've been doing it for years now, and there's a lot of information that I pick up on, and I hear from other people. And you know, for anyone who's been following me knows that I am a very logical, you know, down to earth kind of guy, and I do take things with a scientific view in consideration. Do I believe science? Not 100%, but there's a lot of science that I do believe and agree with. But science does not have all the answers. But unfortunately, it's going to take, according to science, it's going to take a physical body to prove the existence. You know, all these alleged pieces of DNA evidence, it's not going to do no lick of good if we don't have something to compare it to. If you have hair, if you have whatever you may have for DNA and it's been tested and comes back unknown, does not prove the existence of Bigfoot. Because unless you have a species or specimen that's identified to compare it to, there's no identifying a piece of hair or anything that we may obtain in the field as concrete evidence. And that's the truth. There's no evidence to say that your piece of hair belongs to Bigfoot. Your hair, I don't care if it comes back unknown. You need to have the original specimen or a specimen to match it to. That's the hardcore science facts. That's what I believe, and that's what I agree when it comes to science. So you know, there's a lot we need to watch, a lot we need to consider, and you know, and that's the truth. So, let me see here what we got here. Linda is saying, I have heard many Native American stories about Bigfoot encounters that were violent. Many tribes believe that, or what we could call cannibals. They will kill and eat humans. They respect. Oh, hold on. They respect and fear them and stay away from their territories. I think any animal would attack and kill something they feel is a threat to them or their young. Yeah, now there's a lot of Native American legends that, according to their Bigfoot legend, you hear about cannibalistic beings. In the Native American bloodline that I have deep down in me, they have a Native American legend, a Sasquatch legend, which describes a tall, hairy, bipedal, cannibalistic, kidnapping beast. So, which has several different dialects of names to that species. But of course, it's folklore. It's a story. You know, I would like to believe in what they described. I mean, their details may not be accurate, but if they do, if they have observed a bipedal beast, a hairy beast, animal, or whatever it is, you know, I can believe that. But details of what a lot of Native Americans described may not be accurate. Look at today's society. We have a corrupt, messed up society where people are posting bogus information about another person, and people are running and people believe with it and they take and run with it. It's no different than we hear stories about Bigfoot, Native Americans included. Okay, doesn't matter where the story originated from. Just like in politics, somebody can make accusations or make a story up about one or the other. There's some people that are going to believe it because they have hatred for the other. Okay, they're going to take all the negative and run with it against the other, vice versa. Same thing with the stories that we hear. We weren't there to observe it, so we need to take what we hear and read with a grain of salt. It's very important. I mean, that's the way I look at things. I don't jump on everything. I don't jump on every claim when it comes to Bigfoot. I'm not that kind of person. I'm smarter than that. I'm not the first one. If some Native American guy came walking up to me now and said, well, my great-great-great-grandfather said, yeah, he used to get invited over by Bigfoot to they used to make fires and have marshmallows. Some people are stupid enough to believe it, but, I'm just trying to make a point. So, anyway, again, just be careful. And there is nobody in the cryptozoology world that knows more than somebody else. Especially when they come to their claims and their knowledge about Bigfoot. Because for those of us that are involved with Bigfoot, I believe it's safe to say, and I know skeptics and non-believers will feel different or think differently and say differently, but I believe it's safe to say that Bigfoot does exist. Based on many of us, myself included, have had experiences and had observations. And also from what we find deep in the woods. Mainly, I'm talking about all the many tracks throughout the past I have come across. I do believe they are made from Bigfoot. I can distinguish between a Sasquatch track and a bear track, because I have come across multiple bear tracks, big and small. The biggest bear tracks I have come across in my research area were 15 inches, and they do belong to a bear, a black bear. There is monster-sized black bears. They're rare, but they're around. I have seen 15-inch, mark my word, 15-inch black bear tracks. Now, most average black bears in my research area are probably going to range from 250 to 350, about 2 to 350 most average. And there is some big ones out there. I have seen them. So it's very important to understand your wildlife. As much as I repeat that, again, this goes for anybody that's getting involved with Bigfoot research. You got to understand and be able to identify your known species. And again, it's makes sense. It's logical. And then again, when you get involved, I'm going to repeat this. I mentioned this a little earlier. Whatever you believe Bigfoot to be regarding species, type of species, understanding or believing what kind of diet they may obtain, or that they have, and understanding their habits, you need to look back and say, okay, what known species does this? What's the closest that we can resemble and relate this to? That's where you start doing your comparison. That's where you start making notes. What you do, you get a piece of paper. This is for starters, and I still do it till this day with a lot of information. Right here, all right, for example, here's a piece of paper right here, all right? You got a topic here, you got a topic here, and a topic here. Line down the middle. Right here, well, let's put Bigfoot over on one side. All right. All that we believe, all the alleged, please understand that I'm saying alleged evidence or beliefs about Bigfoot over here. All right, pick your topic, pick your known species that closely resembles what matches this species here, and cross, match them up. Okay, it's simple. I call it simple Bigfoot 101. For beginners. There's more advanced Bigfoot 101 that's been put out there, but again, basically that's starter point right there. You got Bigfoot. Make a list of your alleged notes about your beliefs about Bigfoot. Okay, known species over here that closely resembles or compares to Bigfoot. Make a list of all the matching points here. All right, I've done it multiple times. Okay, just to get a better understanding, based off of my research and my observations in the field, with what I find and what I conclude to my beliefs. You know, that's where I start making notes. Now, with what I observe and my research and my notes, they're not factual. They're my beliefs because they're my beliefs based off of research and observations and studies. Okay, I can't prove this. It's same thing with the DNA. All this DNA that's floating around, all these hair samples that are floating around, just because it may come back as unknown does not identify a species. Okay, there could be multiple reasons why it's coming back unknown. Talk to Todd Disotell. Talk to Brian Sykes out of Oxford University. I mean, they're the top experts in this kind of thing. You know, so there's a lot that we need to look at and consider. So, I believe everything someone tells me. Some I believe to be true. Some I believe right. That I mean, I can understand that, Jim. So. I guess with what I was talking about, I guess I was doing some more rambling on. I hope I made sense to some of you guys. I hope, as I spoke in the past, I hope I reached out to you guys, giving you guys a better understanding about where I come from and how I look at things. When people present information to me, if somebody shares a photo or asks me a question, you're going to get an honest answer. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'll try to present my opinion or my belief towards you in a professional manner in hopes that I don't offend you. If I do, I'm sorry, because that means you don't understand. A lot of people get offended because they don't understand. Okay? And sadly, it's going to continue to be that way in this field. A lot of people do not understand how you try to explain. I'm not the best at explaining things. I don't. I'm not. I'll be the first to admit, and I admitted it multiple times, I am not the best at explaining myself, but I believe the way I present my information, to me, it makes sense. So, let me see what Nikki's saying. Jim, my problem is over the years, I now feel that only 5% is worthy, unbelievable, 95%. Yeah. Yeah, now, what Nikki just said, I'm going to make a quick statement about that. She's replying to Jim Jerkins on the live chat right here. She mentions, my problem is, over the years, I now feel that only 5% is worthy of calling believable, and 95% BS. I can agree with that. However, I believe it depends on who you put yourself into with, or the circle of people that you dwell upon, to consider them as what's the right word? If you put yourself, or you pay attention to the wrong circle, you know, of those who are just starting out, or those who claim to be experts, and they just throw anything out there and people believe them, that's the wrong circle. Because there's a lot of people that post pictures of just anything and think there's something Bigfoot related to them, and they just take and run with it, and they get praised for it. Basically, it's just like growing up. If your parents ever told you, if you hang out with the wrong crowd, you're going to get in trouble. It's the same thing in the Bigfoot community. If you follow and believe the wrong crowd, you're going to be misled. Okay? Because there is groups out there, I've seen others out there that are just like me, and they present themselves in a little bit more educated manner. I try my best to present myself to you to where you understand me. But there's people that I believe that are more credible than others. And their credibility comes from basically them being quiet. Their credibility comes from them being quiet, because they're not making bogus claims where they're trying to tell you that I know more than that person. I know more. They're bragging. There's people out there bragging about this. There's people bragging about they know more about Bigfoot than you. I don't buy that, because there's no experts in this field. Nobody knows anything. There's people out there that are bold enough to say they know more than Jeff Meldrum. Okay? He's a highly educated man, and he's been a professor at a university for longer than I've been born. I'm 38 years old. He's been a professor for long, long time. Okay? And you know, he's not always in school. The man's got some boots on the ground experiences. He's met up with people. He's gone to investigate for himself. You know, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, in my opinion, has a lot of respect. I give him a lot of respect for what he does and what he's trying to accomplish. Dr. John Bindernagel, wildlife biologist, staked his reputation. You know, before he passed away, he's been putting years in the Bigfoot world, staking his reputation against his own colleagues. You know, his colleagues don't believe and buy what he's been doing. He slowly was starting to, you know, win some over. But you know what? He didn't care. He believed without doubt that there is a Bigfoot. He states that he believes without doubt there is a Bigfoot roaming the North America and up in British Columbia and all where he's from. So those men got my respect. You know, others that I've always looked up to and followed their research, you know, when it comes to primates, you know, Ann Redmond, Dr. Ann Redmond, Jane Goodall. I mean, these are people that have physical contact observations with our known primates, the chimpanzees, the gorillas. They have physical contact. They have they're habituating, or they're doing the real habituating. What you guys call habituating is a joke. You know, I'm going to go leave a gift. I'm going to leave a bow. I'm going to leave a basket of fruit out there. Oh, I'll come back a week later, it's gone. Surprise. Forgot about all the other animals that eat those foods. So, you know, a lot of people are just fooling themselves out there in the Bigfoot world. And that's the sad truth. A lot of people deceiving themselves. So, Bob, I know you're joking, Bob. That's funny, though. That's some funny stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, a quick reminder before I jump off here tonight. I want to thank you guys. If you have not done so, follow our event page for next. You know, our event page is we're trying to reach 1,000 or more likes and follows to our event page for the ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Con. Look it up on Facebook. You'll find our page. We do have a website that I'll be updating soon, which is it's VirginiaBigfootCon.com. So check that out. We got some podcasts. Me and Zexter were discussing more YouTube podcast shows. So be on the lookout for that. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is called Bigfoot Zone with ECBRO right next to it in parentheses. So again, that's called Bigfoot Zone, and with ECBRO in parentheses right next to it. All right. If you want to come on by the Virginia Bigfoot Seminar happening October 6th. All right. Again, October 6th from 11 to 1 p.m. at the Waynesboro Public Library downstairs in the conference room. Come on out. Come on out. Meet me. Listen to my presentation. I'll be doing a Q&A session. So if you guys are coming out, have your questions ready. Should be a very interesting turnout. All right. I've had pretty good turnouts in the past. We'll see how this year goes. All right. And then again this weekend, I'll be out in the woods for the next few days, which is exciting. I'll get Dad will be with me, so I'll be camping this weekend. My daughter will be with me. What else we got going on? Don't forget, Tracy Arnold is hosting and organizing a weekend Bigfoot expedition, September 15th and September 16th. If you want to come down and join, contact Tracy Arnold or reach out to me. I can give you information on how to get there. So, meanwhile, if you're not following me, go ahead and make sure you, on my Facebook, you can follow me right here on Facebook. Just click follow, and that way you'll get notifications anytime I go live. If you have any questions after I jump off here, message me directly. I'll respond to you when I can. I don't get to respond to people right away, but when I do. I try my best. So, meanwhile, I'm going to jump off here. As some of those who are just now jumping on, feel free to go back and watch this. And if you guys have not done so, help spread the awareness. Share this live video, which it's about not to be live, but you can still share it and still watch it. Share it in your Bigfoot groups. Share it on your pages, or wherever you may feel free to. Share it on your wherever you want. You guys have a good night. I'm going to watch some TV. God bless. Keep it squatchy, guys.